Hey, Stoic friends, imagine this. A quiet park at dusk, the golden light of the setting sun casting a soft glow. There's a bench, once shared by two people who laughed, dreamed, and made memories. But now, only one sits there, gazing into the distance, their heart heavy with unspoken words. The silence between them and the empty space beside them speaks louder than any conversation ever could. I miss you. We've all been there, either as the one longing or the one being missed. Sometimes pride, fear, or circumstances make those three simple words impossible to say. I miss you gets buried beneath silence, leaving behind a bittersweet ache that's both tender and tormenting. It's a universal experience, one that connects us in our shared humanity. As Marcus Aurelius once said, don't be ashamed of needing help. You carry a weight and can stumble. So can they. Missing someone is a form of vulnerability, a recognition of the space they occupy in our hearts. But not everyone can bring themselves to admit it. Some express it through actions instead of words, small, subtle gestures that carry volumes of meaning if you know where to look. Today, we're exploring the hidden signs someone misses you but can't say it out loud. These are the moments when silence speaks, when an unexpected text, a lingering gaze, or a song sent your way becomes their quiet, I miss you. Think about it. Have you ever found yourself overthinking a casual text from someone or noticing a seemingly random act of care that felt too specific to be coincidental? These moments might be their way of saying what they can't put into words. So, let's dive in and uncover these silent signs. And if this resonates with you, share an affirmation in the comments. I honor the unspoken bonds we share. Let's decode the language of longing together. Signs 1. The weight of unspoken words. Imagine carrying a suitcase full of emotions, joy, regret, longing, but never being able to open it. That's what it's like when someone misses you but can't say it. Each shared memory, every laugh, every fight they replay over and over. It's all locked away, growing heavier with each passing day. Have you ever left a conversation wishing you'd said something differently? Maybe a kinder word or a warmer goodbye. That's the constant loop they're stuck in. They think of things they should have said, moments they should have cherished more, and every unspoken word feels like a missed opportunity. Picture them driving home after a long day, sitting in their car with the radio off, lost in thought. Maybe they whisper to the empty air, practicing words they're too afraid to say to you. I'm sorry, I miss you, I need you. But when the moment comes to express it, fear grips their heart. Fear of rejection, fear that it's too late, fear that their vulnerability might be met with indifference. This unspoken weight isn't something you can see, but it's there. In the pauses during your conversations, in the way their voice softens when your name comes up, or the way they linger just a little longer in your presence. Their silence isn't indifference, it's a struggle between pride and the desperate need to reconnect. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But for someone missing you, their mind becomes the battleground. They wrestle with thoughts of reconciliation, but their fear of vulnerability often keeps them from taking that step. If you sense someone carrying this silent weight, remember space and distance aren't the same thing. Give them space to navigate their emotions, but not so much that the gap becomes unbridgeable. A simple act of kindness or a moment of understanding could be the nudge they need to unlock that suitcase. Declare it for yourself and write it down. I embrace love and understanding. Signs 2. Their quiet gestures hold clues. Actions often speak louder than words. When someone misses you but can't bring themselves to say it, their gestures become their silent voice. These are subtle, almost hidden, but they carry the weight of their longing and hope. Maybe you notice they've been liking your old social media posts, ones from months or years ago. It might seem trivial, but it's their way of saying, I still think about those times. I still think about you. Or perhaps they casually reply to your stories with an emoji, just enough to remind you they're still there, without fully revealing their emotions. Have you ever had someone suddenly express interest in something you're passionate about? Maybe they start reading the book you once recommended, or listening to a song you couldn't stop talking about. These aren't coincidences. These are breadcrumbs, small, deliberate gestures meant to signal their continued connection to you. A friend of mine once shared how her ex began frequenting a coffee shop they used to visit together. At first, she thought it was just chance, but over time, she realized it wasn't about the coffee. It was about reliving moments tied to her. Sometimes these gestures are their way of staying connected, even from a distance. These quiet acts are like unsent letters filled with emotions they're too scared to voice. They're testing the waters, hoping you'll notice, but not ready to risk outright rejection. Maya Angelou once said, I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. These gestures are a testament to how you made them feel, special, understood, and missed. If you start noticing these signs, take a moment to reflect. They may not have the courage to say, I miss you, outright, but their actions are doing the speaking. Pay attention. Sometimes what they can't put into words is written in the way they hold on to the connection. Declare it for yourself and write it down. I see love in the quiet gestures. Signs 3. The struggle between love and fear. Love and fear are strange companions, aren't they? When someone deeply misses you, their love pushes them to reach out, but their fear chains them to silence. It's a tug-of-war between their heart and their mind, and often fear wins, leaving so much unsaid. Fear of what? Fear of rejection, fear of being vulnerable, fear of hearing silence in return. It's as if they're standing on the edge of a cliff, their heart urging them to leap while their mind whispers, what if you fall? This inner conflict is exhausting, and the longer it goes on, the heavier it becomes. They play conversations over and over in their mind, rehearsing the perfect words to say. What if they don't feel the same anymore? What if they've already moved on? These questions weigh them down, and instead of acting, they hesitate. This hesitation isn't indifference, it's fear, plain and simple. Imagine someone typing out a message, reading it, deleting it, and starting again, over and over, until they give up entirely. Or someone who visits your profile, looks at your pictures, and wonders what life would be like if they had the courage to reach out. These small actions are windows into their internal struggle. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. But here's the thing. Sometimes what's left unsaid isn't untrue. It's just buried under layers of fear. If you suspect someone is stuck in this love versus fear battle, think about what you can do. Maybe it's a simple, hey, I was thinking about you. Sometimes breaking the silence doesn't mean solving the problem. It's about creating a safe space for honesty. For those who are missing someone right now but can't find the words to express it, Remember this: fear can only win if love doesn't try. And if you're on the receiving end, consider being the one to take that first step. Believe it, fear doesn't stop love. It reveals its strength. Drop a comment with "love over fear" if you're ready to let love win. Signs 4. Memories that haunt them. Memories are like shadows, always lingering no matter how much you try to escape them. For the one who misses you, memories aren't just fleeting, they're vivid, living fragments of the past, replaying over and over again. It might begin with a scent, the aroma of coffee brewing in the morning, the same way it did when you shared quiet conversations over breakfast. Or a song playing on the radio, a melody that instantly transports them to a car ride filled with laughter, stolen glances, and shared dreams. These aren't just triggers. They're time machines pulling them back to moments that once felt infinite. They might find themselves walking past the park bench where you used to sit together, or the cafe where your laughter filled the air. They revisit these places, not by accident, but because they're drawn to the echoes of what once was. But instead of joy, these visits bring an ache, a hollow longing for the comfort of your presence. They don't go there to forget. They go there to feel close to you, even if just for a fleeting second. The truth is, memories like these don't fade. They become part of the air they breathe. Every corner of their world seems to carry your presence. Even mundane tasks like grocery shopping or commuting become landmines of nostalgia. As Seneca wisely said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." For them, this couldn't be truer. Their mind becomes a loop of what-ifs and if-onlys, a carousel of moments they desperately wish they could relive. And the most painful part, they carry this silently. They whisper to themselves in those quiet moments, "I wish I could tell you how much I miss you." Yet fear and pride hold them back, keeping these confessions locked away. If you sense someone reliving these memories, understand that their silence isn't indifference. It's their heart's way of coping with the absence of something or someone they cherished deeply. You believe it, memories hold love, even in silence. Drop a comment with "hold the memories" if you've ever felt this connection. Signs 5. The blame they place on themselves. When someone misses you but can't express it, they often turn their pain inward, dissecting the past to find every misstep they might have made. They replay arguments, analyze their actions, and obsess over where they fell short. This self-imposed scrutiny becomes a loop of guilt and regret, a prison where they're both the inmate and the warden. They think about the missed opportunities, the call they didn't return, the kind words they held back, the moment they didn't show up when you needed them most. These what-ifs and if-onlys haunt them, each one adding to the burden they carry. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." But for someone consumed by guilt, taking that first step toward redemption feels like an insurmountable challenge. This blame is heavy, suffocating even. It whispers to them, "You don't deserve to say I miss you." It convinces them that reaching out would only reopen old wounds. So instead of facing you, they retreat into silence, believing they've lost the right to reconnect. Think about this. They might scroll through your messages, rereading your conversations and searching for signs they ignored your needs. Or they revisit moments when they hurt you, wishing they could rewrite those chapters. But guilt has a cruel way of distorting reality. It blinds them to the possibility of forgiveness. Even if they want to say, "I miss you," their guilt traps them in a cage of self-doubt. What they don't realize is that this cycle of blame hurts them most of all. It eats away at their confidence and their hope, leaving them isolated in their pain. Here's a truth they might not see. Forgiveness, both yours and their own, can be the bridge to healing. If only they could find the courage to let go of the blame, they might discover that it's never too late to repair what's broken. If you believe it, guilt fades when forgiveness begins. Drop a comment with "Forgive yourself" if you've ever needed to let go of self-blame. Signs 6. The signs hidden in their actions. When words fail, actions speak louder than ever. For someone who misses you but can't find the courage to say it, their actions often hold the key to understanding what they feel but cannot express. Have you noticed them suddenly becoming a quiet observer of your life? Maybe they start watching your stories more often or liking posts they ignored before. These aren't random clicks. They're breadcrumbs, tiny signs of longing. They're trying to stay connected to you in the only way they know how, through digital echoes of what you once shared. Sometimes their actions go beyond the screen. Perhaps they casually ask mutual friends about you, as if your well-being is just an afterthought. But it's not. Behind those questions lies a silent hope for reassurance that you're doing well, but maybe still think about them too. And then there are those unexpected gestures, a sudden text that seems trivial. "Do you remember that cafe we used to go to?" Or a random question about something they could easily Google. These aren't just attempts to spark conversation. They're their way of saying, "I miss you," without saying the words outright. It's like throwing a pebble into the water, hoping the ripples will reach you. Think about this. They might even start showing interest in things you're passionate about. Perhaps they're reading that book you once recommended or listening to the playlist you loved. These actions are their silent language, their way of keeping a piece of you alive in their world. As Maya Angelou wisely said, "People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel." Their actions, though subtle, are tied to the feelings you've left behind, feelings they can't let go of. If you see these signs, know that they stem from vulnerability. Their actions are like messages in a bottle, floating on the sea of their silence. They're hoping you'll notice, understand, and maybe even respond. Declare it for yourself and believe it. Actions reveal what words cannot. Drop a comment with "silent actions" if you've ever noticed these hidden signs. Signs 7. Dreams they can't escape. Have you ever had a dream so vivid, so real, that it lingered with you all day? For someone who misses you but can't say it, their dreams often become the only place where they can truly be with you. These dreams are their escape. A space where fear, pride, and distance don't exist, and only the connection remains. In these dreams, they relive the moments you once shared. The laughter, the inside jokes, the way you made them feel understood. It all comes rushing back. Sometimes the dreams go even further, painting a picture of what could have been, a version of reality where things are still perfect. And for a fleeting moment after they wake, they believe it. They reach out in the empty bed, expecting to find you there, only to feel the cold reminder of what's missing. Dreams have a way of unearthing our deepest truths. As Marcus Aurelius reflected, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When someone's thoughts are consumed by you, their dreams naturally follow, creating a space where their longing finds an outlet. What makes this even more poignant is the emotional aftermath of these dreams. The joy they feel in the dream world is quickly overshadowed by the reality of your absence. It's like being handed a precious gift, only to have it snatched away before they can hold on to it. This mix of happiness and heartbreak leaves them caught in an emotional loop. carrying the weight of unspoken feelings throughout their day. These dreams aren't just random flickers of the mind. They're a reflection of how deeply you've impacted their heart. When someone dreams of you this vividly, it's because your presence in their life was, and still is, monumental. Drop a comment with "dreams of you" if you've ever felt the lingering power of such dreams. Signs 8. The places they visit alone. Have you ever walked into a familiar place and felt the weight of memories wash over you? For someone who misses you, these places are more than just locations. They're emotional landmarks, holding pieces of your shared story. It might be a cozy cafe where you spent hours talking about everything and nothing, or a scenic spot where you watched the sunset together. They return to these places, not to move on, but to hold on. Sitting in those spaces, they feel your presence in the air, in the small details only the two of you would notice. This isn't about living in the past. It's about reconnecting with the feelings that made those moments so meaningful. As Maya Angelou once said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." When they visit these places, they're chasing those feelings, longing to relive the warmth, joy, or even bittersweet emotions tied to you. Imagine them walking into your favorite restaurant, ordering what you used to love, just to feel like they're sharing that moment with you again. Or sitting on a park bench, staring at the same view you both once admired, hoping it brings clarity or comfort. These visits aren't casual. They're deeply intentional, but beneath the quiet reflection lies a tinge of heartache. They wonder if you ever visit those places too, if you think of them the same way they think of you. These places become a silent conversation, a bridge between the present and a cherished past. If you've ever felt this kind of connection to a place, know that you're not alone. If you believe it, drop a comment. Memories live in places, but hearts keep them alive. Signs 9. The questions they ask about you. When someone misses you but can't bring themselves to say it, their curiosity becomes their voice. They'll often turn to mutual friends or acquaintances, casually slipping your name into conversations. But these questions aren't as innocent as they appear. They're laden with longing, curiosity, and a quiet hope for connection. Have you seen them recently? How are they doing? These simple queries might seem harmless, but they're fueled by a deeper need. They're not just asking out of politeness. They genuinely want to know if you're happy, if you're thriving, or if maybe, just maybe, you've been thinking about them too. Why don't they reach out directly? Fear plays a huge role. Fear of rejection, fear of looking vulnerable, or fear of hearing something they're not ready to face, like the possibility that you've moved on. So, instead of taking the leap, they gather fragments of your life from those who still walk beside you. Have you ever been on the receiving end of such questions? Mutual friends might share these moments, casually mentioning, "Oh, by the way, they were asking about you." And while it might catch you off guard, it's a sign that someone is still tethered to you in thought. Philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." These questions are a reflection of someone grappling with that change, trying to understand the shift in your connection while clinging to what's left of it. Every question they ask is a quiet bridge, a way of staying close to you without stepping into the open. It's their way of saying, "You still matter," even if they can't find the courage to voice it directly. If you've ever sensed someone's silent longing, take a moment to reflect. Declare it for yourself and believe it. True connections echo, even in silence. Share your thoughts with echoes of care, if this resonates with you. Signs 10. The change in their routine. When someone misses you, their life starts to subtly shift, even in ways that might seem insignificant to others. It could be as small as them staying up later at night, scrolling through old pictures or messages, reflecting on moments they once shared with you. These changes, however, aren't random. They're the result of a heart that feels a void, one that they don't know how to fill. They might find themselves revisiting old places, maybe the cafe where you both used to talk for hours, or a park where you enjoyed quiet moments together. They might even take up activities you once enjoyed, trying to recapture a piece of the connection they've lost. It's almost as if they're searching for a way to reconnect with you, even if they can't do it directly. But these changes go beyond external habits. You'll start noticing shifts in their mood. They might become more distant, more reflective, or just more lost. The energy they once had feels drained, replaced with the weight of unspoken emotions. Their smile, once genuine, might no longer reach their eyes, a telltale sign of someone holding on to something, someone who isn't there anymore. As the Roman philosopher Seneca wisely said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The changes in their routine are often fueled by this inner conflict, where their mind runs through memories and what could have been, leaving them stuck in the past while struggling to move forward. These subtle signs are the breadcrumbs of longing, a way for them to cope with the absence of something or someone that meant the world to them. If you've noticed these changes, understand that they're not just habits. They're the quiet echoes of a heart that misses you more than it can express. Declare it for yourself. I am worthy of love that grows, not fades. If you connect with this, share it with Heart in Motion in the comments. The truth is, missing someone isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a quiet, unspoken ache that lingers in the background of their life. If you notice these signs, remember, their silence isn't indifference, it's their way of saying, I still care. If this video resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Have you ever experienced these silent signs? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more deep, thoughtful content. Until next time, Stoic friends, stay strong, stay wise, and take care.